Hello my dear students, welcome to our today's class. So as we have completed our second chapter, that is periodic classification of elements, today we are going to revise this chapter and this is the part 1 of revision of this chapter. There are 2 revision videos. Okay, so I hope all of you are with your notebook and pen. Please write down the important notes, important points from the video, from the textbook, so that at the time of exam you will feel very easy to read everything. Okay, so let's start to our today's class. In the very first video we have learned about Dobereiner's triads, okay, which is very interesting topic. So he made a group of 3 elements each having what? Having similar chemical properties and called them triads. Okay, then he arranged the 3 elements in a triad in an increasing order of atomic mass, and what he showed that the atomic mass of the middle element was approximately equal to the mean of the atomic masses of the other 2 elements. Let's take an example. Okay, here there are 3 elements, that is Li, Na and K. The atomic mass of Li is 6.9. Yes, then the atomic mass of Na is what? 23.0. Yes, and the actual atomic mass of potassium, that is K, is equal to how much? 39.1. So according to the formula, how we are going to calculate the mean? That is A plus C divided by 2. What is A? So the actual atomic mass of Li, that is 6.9, plus what is C? That is K. And the actual atomic mass of K is how much? 39.1. So we are going to divide this by 2. Then we'll get answer as 23.0. If you look at this, then this answer which we will get, it is the actual atomic mass of this middle element, that is Na. Okay. So Dobereiner said that the atomic mass of the middle element was approximately equal to what? To the mean of the atomic masses of other 2 elements. Yes, this is right. Okay, then the next we have learned about Newland's law of octaves, which is also very interesting. So in the year 1866, Newlands arranged the elements known that time in an increasing order of their atomic masses. Okay, yes, and it started with the lightest element, that is hydrogen, and end up with the thorium. Okay, then what he found? He found that every 8 element had properties which are similar to those of the first. Okay, he found that every 8 element which is there, it has the properties which are similar to the first element. Let's take an example over here. That is, if you can see, the sodium is the 8th element from lithium. Where is sodium? Over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Yes, sodium is the 8th element from lithium, and they both have what? They both have similar properties. So he called the similarity which is observed in 8th element and the first element as what? As the law of octaves. Okay, so there are some limitations of Newland's octaves. What is that? Let's see. This law was found to be applicable only up to calcium. Okay, beyond calcium this law is not applicable. Then the Newlands fitted all the known elements in the table of 6 into 7 into 8, that is 56 boxes. Okay, then the Newland placed 2 elements each in some boxes to accommodate all the known elements in the table. For example, here you can see CO and Ni. Second last period, you can see CO and Ni. These are the 2 elements which are in same box. Okay, and in the last period you can see that Ce and La, these are also 2 elements, but they are not differently placed. They are placed together. They are placed in one box only. Okay, so that is the limitation. Then He placed some elements with different properties under the same note in the octave. For example, Newlands placed the metals, that is CO and Ni, under the note Do, yes, along with the halogens, while Fe having similarity, Fe, where is Fe? Yes, it is over here. So it is having similarity with CO and Ni, away from them along with the non-metals, that is O and S, under the note Ti. So the elements which show the similar properties, they are not together, they are away from each other, but the elements which are having different properties, they are together, they are placed together. So that is the limitation. Also, Newland's octave did not have provision to accommodate the newly discovered elements. If some elements which are going to discovered newly, so there is no place in the Newland's octave for the newly discovered elements. Okay, is that understand everyone? Then the properties of the new elements discovered later on did not fit in the Newland's law of octaves. Yes, this point I have said earlier. Okay, then Mendeleev's periodic table. Mendeleev considered the fundamental property of elements, that is atomic mass, as a standard and arranged 63 elements known at that time in an increasing order of their atomic masses. Okay, so then he transformed this into the periodic table of elements in accordance with the physical and chemical properties of these elements. So what he did, he has taken some physical and chemical properties of elements, and with the help of that he placed the elements in the periodic table. Also atomic masses and the atomic, he showed that he placed all the elements according to what atomic masses. So there are the three properties, that are physical and chemical properties are there, but atomic masses are also there while placing the elements in the periodic table. Okay, Mendeleev organized the periodic table on the basis of chemical and physical properties of the elements. Yes, and on the basis of this finding, Mendeleev stated the following periodic law, that is, the properties of elements are periodic function of their atomic masses. So Mendeleev ने क्या किया, उन्होंने एटॉमिक मासेस के ऊपर एटॉमिक मासेस as a priority. He said that atomic masses is a very important to place all the elements in a periodic table. Okay, so you have to remember that Mendeleev's periodic table, in this, what is the law of Mendeleev's periodic table? That is, the properties of elements are periodic function to their atomic masses. Okay, atomic masses, which is very important. Okay, then there are some merits of Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, क्या अच्छा हुआ मेंडेलीव ने जब periodic table दिया? At that time, so atomic masses of some elements were revised so as to give them proper place in the periodic table in accordance with their properties. Yes, कुछ ऐसे elements थे जिनके atomic masses revised हो गए so that to give them the proper place in the periodic table. Mendeleev kept vacant places in the periodic table for elements which are not discovered till then. Okay, in the Newland's octave, what we have learned, that there is no place for the newly discovered elements, but Mendeleev placed some vacant places for in the periodic table for the elements which are not discovered till then. Okay, then there was no place reserved for noble gases in the Mendeleev's original periodic table, but when Mendeleev created this periodic table, then he created zero group without disturbing the original periodic table, in which what noble gases were fitted very well. So he created zero group for the noble gases. Okay, yes, These are the merits. Then what are the demerits of Mendeleev's periodic table? Okay, so the whole number atomic mass of the elements cobalt and nickel is the same. So therefore what happened? There was an ambiguity. There was some kind of confusion which placed regarding to their sequence in the Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay. Then the isotopes were discovered long time after Mendeleev put forth the periodic table. So a challenge which is posed in placing them in the Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay. Then when the elements are arranged in an increasing order of atomic masses, then what happened? The rise in the atomic mass does not appear to be uniform. There is no uniformity among the elements which are arranged. Okay. Then the position of hydrogen. Hydrogen shows similarity with halogen. Okay, that is halogen. In the same way, there is a similarity in the chemical properties of hydrogen and the alkali metal, that is group 1. Okay, so here you can see that there is some kind of confusion which placed regarding to the position of hydrogen, that where hydrogen element where the hydrogen element to be placed in the Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, so these are the demerits of the Mendeleev's periodic table. Then what is modern periodic law? Okay, in the 1930 AD, the English scientist Henry Moseley demonstrated that with the help of the experiments done using X-ray tube, that the atomic number of an element corresponds to the positive charge on the nucleus or the number of protons in the nucleus of the atom of that element. Okay, so positive charge, which means what? Nucleus. Okay, so this relevant that the atomic number is more fundamental property of an element than atomic mass. Okay, Mendeleev periodic law, Mendeleev periodic table. Here we are learning Mendeleev periodic law, which stated that atomic number is very important. Okay, and yes, which stated that what? Atomic number is very important. And here in the earlier part what we have learned, that atomic masses is important. So the modern periodic law, what it says? It says that atomic number is very important. Okay, then so the statement of modern periodic law was what? The properties of elements are periodic function of their atomic numbers. Okay, remember this. The modern periodic law says the properties of elements are periodic function to their atomic numbers. And according to the Mendeleev's periodic table, properties of elements are periodic function of their atomic masses. Okay. Yes, so then the modern periodic table, long form of a periodic table. The modern periodic table is called long form of the periodic table. In the modern periodic table, the elements are arranged in accordance with their what? Atomic number. Okay. So as a result, most of the drawbacks of Mendeleev's periodic table appear to be removed, because Mendeleev stated something different and the modern periodic table is different. So that's why most of the drawbacks which Mendeleev stated is to be appeared or is to be removed. Okay. However, the ambiguity, the confusion about the position of hydrogen is not removed even in the modern periodic table. Okay. The confusion which is there related to hydrogen, where to place hydrogen, is still there in the modern periodic table. Okay. The relation between atomic number of an element and its electronic configuration is clearly seen in the modern periodic table. Yes, very true. So you all know that the structure of modern periodic table, we have learned this very nicely, very simply. I've learned this everything, that the modern periodic table consists of how many blocks? 4 blocks. Yes. S block, D block, P block and F block. Okay, F block consists of lanthanide and actinide series. Okay, these are the periods. These are the periods which are 7. There are 7 periods. Okay, and 1 to 18 group. Okay, so here first we will see the atomic number, that is 1, here 3, here 11, so 1, here it goes 2, here 3, here 4 and so on. Then we will see a symbol, then we will see a name and the atomic mass. Okay, so this everything is there in each and every element of this periodic table. Okay, so you all know that this you have learned very nicely, but again we are going to revise this. Okay, so modern periodic table consists of 7 horizontal rows and they are called as what? Periods 1 to 7. Okay, similarly the 18 vertical columns, these vertical columns like this in the table, they are called as groups and there are 1 to 18 groups in the modern periodic table. Okay, the arrangement of the periods and groups result into the formation of boxes. Okay, each element is placed in each boxes. Atomic number are serially indicated in the upper part of the boxes. Here you can see the atomic number is there on the upper part of the boxes. Okay. Apart from these 7 rows, the 2 rows which are shown separately at the bottom of the periodic table, and they are called as what? Lanthanide and actinide series. There are 118 boxes in the periodic table including the 2 series. Okay, it means that there are 118 places for the elements in the modern periodic table. Yes. So each box having one element, there are 118 boxes in the periodic table. Okay, the entire periodic table is divided into 4 blocks. You all know that, that is S block, D block, P block and F block. Okay. Yes, the S block contains group 1 and 2. Yes, the group 13 to 18 constitute of P block. Over here 13 to 18 which consist of P block. The group 3 to 12 constitute D block. This everything is D block, while the lanthanide and actinide series are at the bottom. They are called as F block elements. Okay, the D block elements are called as transition elements. Yes, and here you can see a zigzag line which can be drawn in the P block of the periodic table. Okay, then the 3 traditional types of elements can clearly shown in the modern periodic table with the help of zigzag line. Okay, on the left side what is there? Metal. On the right side what is there? Non-metals. Okay, and on this line what is there? Metalloids. Okay, yes. The metalloids elements lie along the border of this zigzag line. All the metals lie on the left side of the zigzag line, while all the non-metals are on the right side. Okay. So in a modern periodic table, elements are arranged in an increasing order of their atomic masses. Yes. Okay. Then the vertical columns are called as groups. There are 18 groups. The chemical properties in the same group show similarity and gradation. Okay. Horizontal rows are called as what? Periods. Yes, and there are 7 periods. The properties of elements change slowly from one end to the another end in the period. Okay. As we go from left to right, the properties of elements goes on changing in a period. Okay, so this is the first part of the revision video. There is a second video which I am going to upload after this. Okay, so please do watch these 2 videos. Okay, thank you.